Hello all. In this video we are going to talk about file I/O, input output from files, and to files for text files in C++. In order to do that, we need to include the fstream library. And then there are two major categories of data that you have to define, right? One of them is offstream, the other one is ifstream. Offstream is to write something to a text file. Ifstream is to read something from the file. And these are objects actually, right? And they have methods. So they have open, they have close, and so on and so forth. They have isOpen. So what do we do here? Here I define an object called myFile, and I define it to be offstream. So I want to use this object for writing something to a file. First thing I do is open it. I say, hey, open this file for me. And then I give it a name for that file. Example.txt. You can have any name here, right? Now, if this file exists, it's going to open the existing file called example.txt. If this file does not exist, it's going to make a new one and write into the blank new file. But if it does exist, it open it and it's going to overwrite the data inside it. So be careful. If there is a file like this and you start writing something to it, you're going to write over the previous data. So be careful about that. So first you say open it. And then you say if my file is open. So this method of isOpen, when it works on my file, it gives you a Boolean value, 0 or 1. It is 1 if the opening was successful, and if the file could not be opened because of it's corrupted or it's open somewhere else or there is a problem with it, then it's not going to give you a 1, it's going to give you a 0, so this whole if is not going to run. So you have a method to check whether the opening is successful or not. So we say if it's successful, then go ahead and write some stuff into my file. Now the way you write the stuff into the file is using this outstream operator. Remember, for cout we use the same thing. When we use cout, we write it to the screen. When we write these two symbols or the symbol after the name of the object for the file, we're going to write it into the file. So you say go to that myFile object and write into that file, hello EEA fans, which is Engineering Educator Academy fans. Go to the next line and then say what? This is how you write to a text file. Go to the next line and then what? Close the file. So my goal is to write these two lines into that text file. Open the file, write it, and close it. And you should always close a file if you are done with your job. You never leave a file open and go, okay? That's a very, very bad habit, because next time you want to open it or do something, you might not be able to. Now here we did writing. What about reading from the file? So here you say string line. So this line is one line of text that you're going to read from any file, any text file, and you define it as a string. And then you define this new object myFile1, and you define it ifstream. Ifstream is when you want to read from a text file, not write to a text file. So you say this object is of type ifstream, so it is used for reading from a file. Which file again? The example text, the same file you wrote something to. Again, you say go ahead and what? Open it. And here we should open it actually, then check for the opening. So I forgot to do that. So first you say open it. And if the open is true, if the file could be opened without any problem, then go ahead and what? Go ahead and it should be myFile1, not myFile. So open the myFile1, and if that operation is successful, go ahead and read some data and then close it. Now, how would you read data from a text file? Here we are using the command getLine. getLine reads data from a file line by line. So it reads the entire first line of this file, my getWhile1, which is the example.txt. It reads it and stores it into this variable line. So line is the entire first line, and then the entire second line, entire third line. So it reads line by line and stores it into this guy, and then it's going to show it. Because it's a string, so I can show the whole thing. Right? And then close. And you see here it says while getLine. So this getLine command does two things for you. One is it stores the current line that the cursor is at into this string variable line. The second thing it does, it returns a 1 or a 0 for you. If it can read a line, if it can read the next line, then it returns a 1. If it cannot read anything because it's at the very bottom of the file, there is nothing left, it returns a 0. So it returns one line at a time and returns a 0 or 1 depending on whether it could read a line or it's done, there is nothing to read. So it keeps doing that using this while, and then finally what? Close it. Now if you could not open the file, you say what? You say unable to open the file. I can add that for this other if on the top as well, right? So you see I did that. I can do that one as well here and say, hey, if you couldn't basically read the file, then go ahead and say what? Say the file was not, I was not able to open the file. I couldn't open it, right? So writing to a text file and reading from a text file, right? And this is the file IO. So let's go ahead and do it right now. If you look under this folder, there is no file called example.txt. So when I do this line, it is going to create a new one for me, a blank one, and then it starts writing into it. Okay, so it did it, right? And now we can go and see it. As you clearly can see, it wrote those two lines that I wanted, right? It absolutely did those. And now we can go ahead and look at the reading part. And for that, I assume I don't need to open it separately here, so I can just comment this out or eliminate this, and that should do the job here for me. So let's go ahead and run this, and you see, yes, it is showing what is being read by getLine onto the screen for me, right? So this is this while loop here, basically. Okay. So it wrote it to the blank file, and then here is reading it line by line and showing it on the screen for you. So hopefully this short video was useful to you and you learned how to use offstream, ifstream, right? Open and close the files, and use the command getLine, use the command isOpen, use this guy here to write to the file, and then basically read and write from and to a text file. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.